Hello, hello. It's Friday, and it's not my normal day to stream. I mean, it is my day to stream, but it's not the normal day. I just thought I'd jump on. Hi, Ian. I just thought I would just, I was going to do this anyway, so I might as well turn the camera on and have you guys be here too, right? How you doing, Ian? I've watched some of your YouTube videos about watercolor and so forth. You are inspiring. Just wanted to tell you that. So if you guys watching have not checked out Ian Jackson on YouTube, do that. Hello, everybody. Hi, Dar and Patricia. Hi, Ina. Ina, I haven't seen your name in the chat for a while. I'm glad you're here. We miss you in the VIP classes, my dear. I know you've been busy, but we miss you. Hi, Care. Good to see you. Hi, Julie. Hey, Vicky. Vicky says it's a nice break from reality. Well, you just don't know about that. I'll try. Hi, Heather. You are very welcome, Ian. And in case any of you guys don't know, I'm sure you do, but if you don't know, you can click on the person's name in the chat and find their channel. So it's easy. It's an easy thing to do. So it's very easy. If you want to check out anybody else's channels or whatever, you know, it's super easy. Oh, good, Ina. I'm so happy to read that. You're going to join us in June. I really hope you can. We do miss you. Yeah, we do. So anyway, yeah, it's a crazy day. I'm looking a little crazy here today, but, you know, oh well. Hello, Miss Azure. Oh, dear. Azure, I can't remember your name. I should know off the top of my head. Shouldn't I? Diane. Goodness gracious. You'd think I'd remember that by now. You want to see the powders at work? Hi, Carla. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I have to put a caveat out here that I am not the greatest embosser person. Yeah, I'm really not. So I'm just going to chat with you guys for a little bit. I have me a Starbucks. See? And it's a little over half gone. I'm going to suck the rest of it down before we do a thing. Because that's why. We want my brain to do brain stuff. Hi, Carlene. Hi, Kimberly. Hey, Shu. Boy, I haven't seen you for ages. I'm glad to see you in the chat. Oh, the cheat sheet really helps, Kara. Let me tell you, it really, really helps. I've had a cheat sheet for years because I started out streaming on Ustream, and you know, it was like, how do these people remember these names? Well, after a while, you know, when you see the same names in the chat a lot, it's not hard. But boy, and then I switched to YouTube, and then it was like, I had a whole new list of names to get acquainted with, and I'm like, oh my. Yeah, somehow I got wet stuff on my, can't imagine how that could happen. Just because there was a cat sitting up here and stuff a little while ago. Oh, you've never had Starbucks? Hi, Franna. I hope that's how you say your name. Hey, Linda McAllister. Good to see you too. Yeah, isn't that the funniest thing? I hope you can read that. It's a coffee sleeve. I got it from, you know, it's just like that. I got it from a different coffee place that we went to, and when I saw that, I thought, that is too funny. I'm gonna have to do something with this. Plus, it's a really cool texture. Can you see that interesting texture? Isn't that cool? Just in case you want to see this really close. There you go. There, it's really close. So if anybody needs a screenshot, Yeah, there you go. In case you need a screenshot. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, I didn't see you in the chat. But I'm glad you're here. Sometimes, and not, let's be honest, when I get busy doing stuff around here, then I don't always catch up with the who's in the chat. Even when you're talking to me, I don't always see it. Hi, Jess. Rapper. Yeah, that's right. So what have you guys been up to? And those of you watching the recording, scroll past this first few minutes because we're just chatting for a minute. That's one of the advantages to a live audience. I take the first few minutes and just chat with the viewers because it's the only time I really have time to really pay attention to the chat. So, yeah. Linda's getting dinner. Okay. That's cool. Hi, Rain. Oh, Ian's making a watercolor book. Oh, cool. Are you making a watercolor book out of watercolor paper, or are you making a book from watercolors you've done? Or, Ian, we need more information. Hi, Melody. Melody's making junk journals. Oh, that's neat. Sorting magazine clippings. Cool. Painting your unicorn. That sounds interesting. Making vintage envelopes. Oh, that's cool. Making vintage envelopes out of vintage paper. I'm not so quick on the draw sometimes. I need more. I just need more. Carla's working and lurking. There you go. That's allowed. That's allowed. So I got my baked texture in the mail, and just says yep. So making envelopes out of vintage paper. And Diane's staring at blank paper. There you go. Okay, Ian is making his watercolor book so he can paint into it. Ah, neat. Yeah, everybody always needs more. Whatever it is that you do and you like to work with and you like to work, do your creative stuff with, you always need more of it. You never have enough. That's how we all become like this. That's how we become like this. The other day somebody said to me, "Oh, I just look at your room. It's so organized." And I said, "Yeah, it's organized right here. Right there. You will never see the rest of it." Hi, Diane in France. I'm so glad you've joined us. It's your first time? Oh, that's great. Hi, Abby. Welcome, welcome. It's great to have you guys joining us. Blank papers. Shelly. Crafting Mamas is Shelly. Surprise. I know. I just decided that I was going to just come on chat for a little bit. It's another one of those, sad but true. It's another one of those occasions in the United States where there was another school shooting today. And sometimes you just, sometimes there aren't words. Earlier today, we got news of a death in my husband's family, a very young person in his early 20s, and drug overdose, and I have to tell you, my day just started out, it was one of those gut-wrenching, heartbreaking kinds of days. And at that point, and I know I'm not the only one that deals with, sometimes you have those times where it's like you feel too much, and so sometimes when that is the case, that's when we all have to come together, or at least have a place you can go and just everybody just take a break from it. I mean, literally take a break from it, move away from it. And so, you know what? It is perfectly fine to pretend it doesn't exist for a little while. It's not like we're all idiots. It's just okay to just pretend it doesn't exist for a while and take a break from it and just do something different, you know? So, oh, thank you, Carlene. Hi, BJ. Hi, Dorothy. BJ Bonnie, right? Yes, it is. Sometimes you just have to take a break. And so that's when we do this. Yes, that's when we do this. And then we do this. And we say cheers, everybody. And then you just, have a little bit to just make you do some brain stuff. Or take you away from the brain stuff. Anyway, okay. I do have something exciting to tell you about, so I thought I would do that. This is like sneak peek time, okay? I was going to say don't tell anybody, but it's okay if you tell people, really. You guys know, those of you that have been hanging around me for any length of time at all, know that I have a complete obsession with mandalas, right? If you don't know, hi Gail. If you don't know what a mandala is, some people call them mandalas. Some people call them mandalas. I call them mandala because it's easy for me to say. I have been corrected a couple times by people telling me that is incorrect. It is mandala. Okay. It's like potato, tomato. It's like whatever you want to call it. Anyway, mandalas are round circular art forms. And if you've been hanging around me for any length of time, that I love them, and I go in cycles where I love them even more. And you love drama-free days? Yes, and that's what we're going to have here. That is what we're going to have here. And so it's just one of those times when I'm back in the mandala madness once again. We've done several books of mandalas, and we've done a whole course on mandalas called Mandala Madness. And so we have 3 books out right now. So we have Mandala Melange, we have Mandala Medley, and we have Mandala Madness. The Mandala Madness book is a free book, free download. Hi, is it Vandana? Vandana? You'll have to, I don't remember. I don't know if I've seen your name in the chat. I'm going to call you Vandana. If that's not right, if you can do it phonetically, I might be able to remember. Yeah, Kara says the mandala represents the universe, so everyone can say it however they want. Here, here. And you can do it any way you want, right? So I go through hi Purple Cottage Crafts. I go through periods of time where I get, just overwhelmed with them, and I just draw them a whole bunch. Actually, there's one downstairs. I don't know whether, hang on just a minute. Let me see if my downstairs partner is around. And ask him if he'd run it up. And I'll show you. It's one I've been working on for a while. Anyway, so we have been working on, and I think I've told you a little bit about this in the past, we've been working on an inspiration deck. And yeah, the inspiration deck is in production. Yes, it is. And it's called the Mandala Madness Inspiration Deck. I'm going to show you a sneak peek. This is just what we have this is the mock-up. So this is not the real deal, but this is the mock-up. So I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. This is just the box, okay? Just the box. I got permission from the technical department. Thanks. Thank you. I got permission from the technical department to show them to you. So this is the box, just a mock-up of the box. This is not the real box yet. Okay, So anyway, can you see how big it is? It's bigger than my hand. Oh, it's your first time joining? Oh, good. I'm so glad. Welcome to all you new people. I'm so glad you're here. Anyway, it's bigger than my hand. The cards are bigger than most iPhones. No, like iPhone 5, 6, 7, they're bigger than that. So they're nice big cards. You see how big they are? See it? I know. It's pretty cool. There are 48 cards in the set, and they are all different. And, you know, they're in production. We will have them in just a few weeks. I know, it's so exciting. I know. It really is. And so I'll give you just a quick. This is probably going to glare like crazy in the camera. I could take it out of plastic, okay? Okay, so there is from a distance. That's what I never can remember if this is the front or the back side of the card. Anyway, they're all different. So 48 cards in the set. And they are truly inspirational on both sides of the cards. Every card's unique. And there are some inspirational prompts on the back as well as quotes and so forth. So they're just, I'm telling you, this is what they look like. Again, this is just a printout of the mock-up. So when you see this, you're going to see the card front, or the colorful card, and then what's on the back. So, you know, just from a distance, you see front, back, like that. So anyway, aren't they pretty? Aren't they pretty? Anyway, yeah. So they're coming. They should be here in a few weeks. And with the deck of cards, you get you get a course that comes with it. We're calling it a mini course only because it's not as many classes as Mandala Madness, the regular course, but there is training on how to use them, video training. There is a book that comes with the deck, the purchase of the deck. So there is a book that has all the designs that I created just for the deck, and symbols and all that are in the book. So that's a book you can download. So anyway, it's very exciting. It's coming. So I just thought I would show you that. You love them? Thank you. It is like showing off a new baby, Bonnie. It is, because we have been working so hard. And by we, I mean the technical department. I do the art part of it, and then he takes over and does all the communication with the company, and he does the typesetting, and he does. God bless him. If he shows up in the chat, you guys need to just like pat him on the back and give him all kinds of kudos and love. They won't go on sale until I have them in my hot little hand, and that will be a few weeks. I'm guessing it's going to be in June. So I mean, we're talking a few weeks. So anyway, this is one of the mandalas I've been working on recently. This piece started out with, I had these three. These were done. I had them done already, but I had to redo them for the technical department because they didn't suit him. See this little bit here in the corner? See how that is, how it forms a whole mandala around the corner? See that? Well, the artwork that I had done for that didn't suit the technical department. Oh, you guys. He's here. Give him lots of love. Hi, Kiki. Yeah. Give him all the love and the pats on the back, and tell him how wonderful he is and how handsome he is and how we love him, because we never want him to stop working for us, right? Okay, so here's what happened. I'll show you a close-up of this. So I had to redo that corner art. Okay, see the corner there? Up here. It didn't, what I had done wasn't it didn't work well enough. So I redid it once, and I redid it again because one of those I didn't think looked quite right. And then he wanted it with more divisions. And so I did it again, which is where that one came from. Now, I don't even know which one of these he used. He can tell you. But anyway, I got all those done. So anyway, I have this piece of paper, which was all, had the wash in the background and all that. That's the whole technique back here is one of the Mandala Madness classes in Mandala Madness. And so I thought, I'll just, so I have these 3 random small mandala pieces on here. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just add a mandala in behind it. So, hi, Ann. Hi, Barbara. Hi, River City Creative. Hi, Cindy. When I'm looking like this, I'm looking at my chat monitor. Anne says, Race, you are seriously handsome and not just because your mother said so. That's right. That's right. However, I agree. So anyway, I decided to add a mandala in behind it. So that's a little trickier. Honestly, most of the time I don't do that. Most of the time I don't draw in behind something. I'll incorporate something like that as I go. But yeah. So anyway, I'll show it to you up close just so you can see some of the detail. This one, all of the embellishment or the trim work, and believe me, I'm showing this to you far closer than you would ever look at one of these. And so you can see all the imperfections and all the little weird, little weirdnesses here and there, because they're all hand drawn. But that is what I love to do because I am fascinated with and love drawing mandalas. But anyway, all of the embellishment and trim work on this is done on the big mandala is all done using a white pen. The small one so far I've just embellished with black, and I don't know if I'll use white on those. I don't know. I never know. Absolutely never know where they're going to go. I don't know how they're going to be when I get done with them. And then I may take this and I may cut it up and use it for something. I don't know. I may make cards out of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Anyway, I just, we enjoy watching or listening to the baseball games. Baseball games can be very, very long. Professional baseball games can be very lengthy. And just sitting there drives me a little cuckoo sometimes. But I want to know the end. So I often have something to either sketch or a project to work on, a class to work on, a mandala to do. I have, or I'm something. So that's what I've been doing lately. So, Ray says bribery will get you everywhere. That's right. That's right. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Hi, Michelle. Michelle says the Mandala Madness class was great for those of you that haven't signed up. Thank you, Michelle. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It really was and is. And the first time we ran it, we had a live show and share that happened in conjunction, but all of those are recorded. And so not only do you get all the classes, but you also get to see the live show and share, which is with students that took the course that first time through, and you get to see their what they created. It's worth so much more than we're charging for it. I'm telling you. I might be prejudiced, but that's how I feel about it. And Barbara Clark took it too. She said it was great. Thank you, guys. You can't. It's not. It's really not about. If you're talking about this, Kiki, it's not about drawing. It's about. It's about being, and this may sound a little, the woo-woo thing. This may sound woo-woo. It's about being present and just being willing. And if you are there, if you are present and you are willing, I can give you the tools, and I can take you step by step by step from the very beginning, knowing nothing about a mandala, and take you clear to the end doing some very interesting and creative pieces for yourself. Okay. Oh, thanks, Shelly. Yeah, if you guys want to do a thumbs up, that'd be great. Okay. Ina, I just saw you. Ina took the class too. Yeah. Ina did some gorgeous. People in that class just knocked my They knocked my socks off and rocked my world with what they produced in that course. And you can sign up for it anytime. There's a link in the description box below the video. Mandals are your nightmare. Linda McAllister, no, say it ain't so. It can't be. You haven't taken my course. All right. So let's, I'm not quite done with my coffee. See, I'm just chatting with you guys for a little bit. Oh, hi, Jane. Don't let Race know that I have this on the table. I better suck it down very quickly because I got to get it off the table. Illegal fluids are not permitted here. And Barbara Clark created a book during the class that she loves. Yay. Linda says she tried, Barb. She really tried. And she said it's a nightmare. Maybe it's just not your thing. You know, some people can't do Zentangle or don't want to do Zentangle or don't like Zentangle, you know. No matter how much they want to like it, they don't. You know, so it may just not be your thing. And I get it. I get it. There are things that are not my thing. Let me think. What are they? Oh, usually I can just rattle that list off. Right now, my brain, I must need to do this. I must need to do this because my brain is not doing brain stuff. Okay. So let us get rid of this. Sure. Ray says, my computer, my beverage. Linda says, yeah, but she loves to watch them. I love drawing them. And you know, here's the thing about mandalas. The hardest thing for me preparing the course, because I film everything in real time. And so that means I have to have step outs. You know, I have to have pieces of things that you're going to spend but you're going to spend a buttload of time when you're doing video. You spend a buttload of time either on the front end or the back end. You either spend all the time editing what you do, or you spend all your time beforehand creating step outs like they do with cooking shows. So that's the way I choose to do it. The hardest part about that is to do the same thing multiple times in different stages. That is killer for me when it comes to a mandala, because I am so into the just doing it as it shows up. You know, it's really a challenge to do it. You know, the same thing. Anyway, okay. Hi, Rose. Diane says too late for her to drink coffee, so she's sipping gin and tonic. Okay, in the trash. All right, here we go. So what I've done, first of all, I'm going to put a mat over my mat, which may seem really goofy. But the mat I have on my table is from Art Anthology. I probably shouldn't tell you that, because honestly, I can count on very few fingers the number of things that I talk about that I don't care for. If I don't care for it, I just don't talk about it. I will just say this mat from Art Anthology, my favorite part of it is it's big. My least favorite part of it is it got marked up, pardon me, almost immediately after I bought it and put it on my table. And here, see this? See how horrible this looks? You can't get it. It did that like immediately after I bought it. Like immediately after I bought it. And it was not an inexpensive mat. And you know, stuff sticks to it. It's just not my favorite, but it does protect the table surface. Anyway, I'm going to put the Ken Oliver mat over the top of it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because this is really sticky. And which means I don't care for that, you know, that quality when I'm doing most of my stuff. Because when I put something on it, like this, for example, it's great because it doesn't move. Shall we just talk about my throat? It drives me crazy sometimes. I start talking and it's just like something, you know, something crawls in my throat and goes, stop talking. You know, anyway, enough about that. Okay, so anyway, this mat, when you put something on it, it's hard. I don't have fingernails. And it's hard to pick it back up off the mat. So it becomes a little frustrating for me in that regard. However, when you're using sticky stuff like glitter and the watercolor pigments and embossing powders and stuff, it's pretty good for that. So I'm just adding some painter's tape just to hold it in place. So, okay. Hi, Pen. Okay. If you have questions for me, please put them in all caps because I have no prayer of seeing it if you don't. If you have questions or comments for me. All right. So what I've done in an effort to move this along now that I've talked for half an hour and done nothing, I have made some tags because I really like having tags as samples. For example, these are different techniques with distress inks, and this actually came from the Creative Chemistry series that Tim Holtz did. But I really like having tags because it's a big enough surface that you can actually see the technique, but it's small enough that I can, you know, house them for easy reference, and you know, I can come back and look at them pretty easily later. Okay, so I put all of these tags for this stuff, and there's a couple of different, I think there's a couple of different classes in here, but I just house them in here, and then when I want to go back and look for a technique, it's easy for me to do that, or how to use a product. So that's what I did. So these tags, most of these are, like there might be one or two that were purchase tags. The rest of them I made. So they're made from various kinds of cardstock, and they're not even all the same color, although I have a stack of light ones and a stack of black. This is just cardstock from a craft store. What is wrong, Barb? Beats me, Jane. I don't know. It would be a good question. It's the question. It is the question that is a universal question. What's wrong? No clue. Okay, so we're going to put those over here. I have some little bits and pieces of vintage paper that has pencil on it. I have no idea what the pencil is going to do. They are bona fide old from 1939. I have a stamp. Hi, Rowesta. I have a stamp. This is an old Stampin' Up! Stamp, and this is a solid stamp because I want to see what it does. For embossing powders, I want a solid stamp just because I'm going to be able to see it better. I have another stamp that is more delicate. I don't know who this is by. Inkadinkadoo. I happen to see the package. And so we're going to use that, see how this works. And I have some distress ink that I'm going to use with this. And I have an embossing pad. Hi, Rocky. Nice to see you. So this is Versamark, which is the watermark stamp pad or embossing ink. It's a sticky ink. I freshly filled it up with the re-inker today, so it ought to be good and juicy. I also have some glycerin, which I bought at a big box store. Those of you that in the United States, I bought it at Walmart in the pharmacy. You can find cheaper places to buy it, but it was easy for me to get to. I have a little cup, and I have an acid brush, which came from the hardware store. This I had not thought of using until last night. I was at my book club, and they were talking about, one of the gals there was talking about using the acid brush for a technique with the embossing powders, the baked textures. And I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. So my husband had one of these. He coughed up. These are really cheap. You buy a whole bunch of them, and this is like a metal handle. They're super cheap. They're not good for painting anything, but they're really good for doing junk techniques. Because when you're done with it, if you can't clean it out, you can throw it out. Okay? All right, so here we go. So we're going to just play with these and see what happens. And we may not get through all these baked textures today, but, you know, we're going to... we're just going to see where we go with them. All right, so the colors I have, they are available in 7 colors currently from Seth Apter and Emerald Creek. And if you haven't seen my creative chat with Seth, which was a few weeks ago, it was the first Friday in May, so that was, no, that's right, the first Friday in April. So that was probably 6-7 weeks ago. He talks a lot about these with me, and so yeah, it's fun to actually listen to the artist who helped create these. So this is Chunky Rust, so I'll give you a good close-up view of them. So Chunky Rust, this is a really weird powder because it's got fibers in it. It looks like little hairs. This one is Patina Oxide. This one is Deep Sea. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Hi, CB. Oh, you're not late. We've just been shooting the breeze. This one is Rocky Road. This one is, I mean, you talk about something that's got texture in it. That puppy's got texture in it. This one is Dirty Sand. Okay, so this is Dirty Sand. That is very appropriately named. This one is Ancient Amber. Okay, Ancient Amber. Yeah, this is all the colors that they have so far in this particular one. Emerald Creek does produce other embossing powders, but this is all the Seth Apter baked texture colors at the moment that are available. And this one is Vintage Beeswax. This is the one that people want much larger quantities of. Okay? Then I also have 2. The colors are beautiful, aren't they? And then I also bought these 2. These are from the Allure line. So this is not, you see the difference in the label? Baked textures on one, the altered page, this is Seth. This is his design. The Allure line is from Emerald Creek. This is another one of their lines, and this one is Northern Lights. Okay, there's Northern Lights. I have not seen these, so I don't know what they'll do. And this is Camo. Okay. So there is Ammo. Sorry, the lights just catch that plastic like crazy. There's Camo. All right, so we're going to see what we can do with these. I have a fan going because it's warm in here today. Oh, first of all, let me show you this piece. I don't know, honestly don't remember if I showed you this before. This was a sample that Seth did when I was at Creativation, and we were there in January. And so this is a sample piece that he did and gave to me. Now, this one does not have very many coats of the vintage beeswax on it. And so when I tip this, you're going to see that it doesn't, there's a lot of pits, divots and pits in it because it doesn't have a lot of coats. You can put, okay, you can see it right there. See all that? The unevenness of the surface? That comes from not enough coats of the vintage beeswax. And if you want that totally smooth kind of surface, like this glass-like surface, which you'll see more of that glass-like surface right here. I know the lights, I know. And this is where he stamped into the hot melted embossing powder. Okay, so anyway, that was a piece that he did when we were there, and then I asked him if I could have it, and he said yes. So that was nice. Okay, let's see what happens, shall we? I'm going to put the 2 Allure ones away. I did that already. Oh, and I also bought from these, I got all this stuff from Seth, except for like the Allure powders. I bought those from somebody else, from my local store. I'll show you these 2. These I got from Seth, and these are some of his paints that he does with Paper Artsy. And I'm not entirely sure which set this is. Somebody might know. Maybe it says on here. It says limited edition. I truly don't know what set this is. I'd have to go back and look on his website. But these are some of his paints that he does with them. This is Spanish mulberry. That's why I turned it around. Anyway, there's that. Maybe it says here. No. Okay. And this is the other set that I got from him. Is it hard like a tile? It's got flexibility because it's watercolor paper. So this is watercolor paper. So there's still flexibility. So the surface, you know, it's paper. So it's still going to bend. And you could crack that surface if you bend it too much. You know. But it's very glass-like. You know, this is very glass feeling. And the parts where there's a lot of the powder that's melted, it's very glass-like in its feeling. So hope that is what you meant. Okay. All right, we're just going to work with the powders, and we're just going to see what happens. And if I get tired of doing it, you know, we're just, you know, go away. Okay? Vicky says, Paper Artsy paints are fab. I have never used them. So, yeah. So we're going to find out. Okay, so let's take one. Let's take patina oxide. Okay, let's work with patina oxide first. Oh, I forgot to record this whole thing on my computer. Oh, well, it's not a big deal. This is just playing anyway. I started streaming for you guys, which is recording on YouTube, but I forgot to record it into my computer, but that's a personal problem. That's not up to you. Okay, so here we go. Let's use this tag. So this is the just a manila. This is manila file folder is what this is. All right, let's stamp it, shall we? And I need a piece of paper. So I'm going to use a piece of paper. Linda has the patina oxide and loves it. Cool. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this with my Versamark, okay, Versamark embossing ink. I know that Seth talks about he likes the Wow embossing ink, but this is the one I have, so this is the one we're using. So we'll see how it goes. Now, you can use an embossing buddy, which is a little pouch that has either baby powder or cornstarch or something in it to, you know, de-static or whatever the surface. I'm not going to do that because I don't care. So we're just going to put this on here and stamp it. Hi, Christine. All right, so it's on there. We're going to put patina oxide on this. I have not opened these at all. I'm just going to like bang them on the surface. I don't know whether you have to do that to mix them up or not, but anyway. Okay, here we go. We're just going to put them on the surface. And they do pack these little jars completely full of powder. All right, there's what it looks like unmelted. Okay, that's what it looks like unmelted. And I'm only going to put one coat on all of these. That's it. Okay? That's all I'm doing on all of these. And then I'm going to put this back in my little container and put the lid on the container. No matter how careful you are, you will still get embossing powder everywhere. Hence the reason for the sticky mat under here. Okay? Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see if my embossing heat gun is plugged in. That will be the next question. Nope. Okay. I gotta plug in my embossing tool. Give me 1 second. Okay, and I'm gonna, we're just doing this together, playing with this. So I'm gonna warm it up off the table. You can see me over here warming it up. Once it's good and hot, then I'm gonna take it over here to the table. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, and it is truly like magic. There's what it is after it's melted. And you see all these artifacts over here? That's the stuff you don't get if you and like this, that's the stuff you don't get so much if you will go over your surface with cornstarch or baby powder or whatever, an anti-static thing first. Anyway, that is one coat. I love the interesting texture. Hence the name Baked Textures. Duh. Okay, anyway, let's go back over here. And now let's take a piece of this bonafide vintage paper, and I'm going to use a piece of, if I can remember, a piece of deli wrap underneath it, and I'm going to just go over this surface with my juicy pad, which is currently kind of white. It will go anything but white here in a little bit. I'm certain. Now, I may not cover this entire surface. That's okay. I don't care. I don't care if some of the paper shows through. All right, let's coat her up. Same thing, vintage patina oxide. So any place on here where you see the paper showing, that's where I did not get ink. And I have to tell you, embossing is not a speedy process. Especially if you're using the same color multiple times. It's not fast, but that's okay. All right, so let's see what happens. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Malia. Okay, and this would be where you need to use a pair of tweezers. If I can find a pair of tweezers here. I'd never work with tweezers, I have to tell you. Somebody laughed at me one day when I said I was tweezers challenged. It is honestly the truth. There are not too many things that I just don't do very well at all. But you will watch me struggle with these stupid tweezers. I don't do them well. Don't ask. I have no explanation. But if you don't hang on to it with something, and also you can do this, you can heat emboss it from the bottom. If the powder is blowing, away, you can emboss it from underneath. But then if I do that, you can't see it. So, all right. Tweezers and I, we don't get along. Anyway. Hi, Valerie. Okay, so here is, and if you've never worked with embossing powders, which I can't imagine that very many of you haven't, it is magic. It is magic. All right. So what I want to show you is that if you look through that, you can still see some of the writing. I'll turn it around where it's the right side up, maybe. You can still see some of the writing through that. Of course, that could be where I didn't put the, I didn't put it on there all that well. But anyway, okay. Yeah, okay, so there's those tool samples, right? So let's go ahead and just glue stick this puppy on. So just use a glue stick here. And I'm going to stick this on the tag. I'm going to have so many pieces of paper going on here, we're not going to know what I'm doing. It's okay. It's just a play day. I'm not here to teach you anything today. And if that is not what you're okay with, that's okay. Okay. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do is on the back side, we're going to see if we can coax it into submission. So just want some glue stick. I'm just using Elmer's Extreme. Seth used paints on some of his pieces, but the piece that I showed you does not have paint on it. This piece that he did here, this piece right here, this did not have paint on it. This had vintage papers. He used distress ink, and he used colored pencil. This is colored pencil, I think. And that's it. Everything else on here is embossing powders. So that's what that was about. Okay. So there is our little sample so far. And then down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some glycerin. My hands are going to be so sticky when this is done. You have to know how much I hate sticking. Claus Man is in the house. He can tell you how much I hate sticky. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to use the acid brush here because it's really coarse and cheap. And I'm going to use very little, and I'm going to just put some, I'm just going to put some on there. And then we're going to add some more embossing powder. Same color. Okay, same color. So there it is, unmelted. So if you like distress type things, this might be a good thing for you to have in your arsenal of art supplies. An acid brush or a cheap brush of some kind. Alright, so I'm just going to take this off to the trash can and see if we can get rid of most of the excess. And then let's heat it. So I'll let you see what it looks like up close. There it is, unheated, unbaked. All right, here we go. 2. And once it melts, I mean, it melts quickly. Okay, so there it is, melted. Okay, so there it is melted. You can see that. Pretty cool. Will it bubble if overcooked? I'm sure it will, because any embossing powder is going to do that. So I'm sure it will. Haven't done it, but I'm sure it will, because it's an embossing powder. All right. I'm going to stick a little bit more glue stick just under this corner. Because some of us are like that, and we want to have the corners glued down. I know. All right, and one other thing I want to do with this, and that is I'm going to take this. I don't know how this is going to do, so it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to take this little flourish thing. This is Walnut Stain Distress ink. This stamp is so old that the back side of it is sticky, like ick sticky, like ew sticky. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna ink it up really well. I hope. That's the goal. We'll find out. I don't know how well this ink pad has been inked up. I'm gonna reheat this part in here. We'll see how this works. And I'm going to plop this inked stamp into that hot, remelted, and it came back out, but that's okay. It worked. I thought I'd have to leave it in there longer. My fingers probably pulled it out. Anyway, okay. So the ink didn't come off all that much because I think maybe my ink pad didn't have much ink on it. But anyway, and I didn't get a huge deep impression because it wasn't a real deep coating, thick coating of embossing. But anyway, cool, huh? Yeah. Okay, so there's that. Okay. So, people, how long did that take us? How long did it take us? Half an hour to do that? Let's label it before I forget what it was. Okay, this is patina oxide. And there's all our little sample-y things. Okay, so we did it with a stamp. So I did it with a stamp using just the embossing powder or embossing pad, ink pad. This is the embossing ink pad all over vintage paper just to see how translucent it is. This is a stamp that a red rubber stamp. He said that he didn't think clear stamps would work. I don't know. Haven't tried it. Don't have one that I really want to sacrifice at this point. And this is the acid brush brushing glycerin on it. Okay. So, and like any embossing powder, it has a really interesting, cool feel to it. You know. So there you go. Patina oxide. Okay. All right. And just to show you one more time, over here, there it is, patina oxide. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I like the bottom one too, Linda. I love this kind of weird and random thing. And I would never have thought of doing that. I would never have thought of doing that with, you know, this kind of thing if I hadn't gone to book club last night. So you guys got to be happy that that I went to book club last night. Okay. Are you up for some more, or are you tired of me embossing? Pin likes the second one. Okay. What did question, did you get the full range? I got the full range of Seth's. His name is so hard to say. I got the full color range, current color range of Seth's embossing powder. He has 7 colors. So you want me to do more? Keep embossing. Okay. All right. Let's do one. I'm not going to do all the techniques here. Let's just do one on black. Okay, so we're just going to stamp on the black. And I won't do all those things because we'd be here for hours and hours. Who wants to do that? No one, not even me. We're going to do one on black, and we're going to use the same color. Okay, so we're going to use the same color, but I'm only going to use one. You want them all? Okay. All right. So let me come down here where you can see what I'm doing. So I have, you can see the stamp right there. I'm using the same stamp so that the comparisons are the same. So I've done that. I'm going to use the same embossing powder. If I can figure out where I just put it. Here it is. And so this is just on black cardstock. So we're going to do this. And this is to see what the opacity is like, okay? Okay. All right. So we're going to do it on black. I'm only going to do the one texture. Actually, you know what? I lie. I'm going to put some of the glycerin on this one at the bottom of this. And I'll go back and do the rest of it if I decide later. But let's put some glycerin on it because I can do both of these at once. Both of these little techniques at once. Sound good? I think so. Can you only use glycerin instead of Versamark? No, you can probably use the Versamark. It's just I'm after, if you had the, whoops, I put my finger right in that. If you had the Versamark refill, you could do that. You could use that, but I think glycerin's going to be less expensive. That's just that's my thought. I could be telling you a total lie. Do you like that? Okay. Anyway, all right, let's clean up this little mess here. If you don't have a lint roller to use with stuff like this, you need to get one. Yeah, lint rollers are for more than just cleaning up sponsor hair. Okay, let's emboss this. Now I can see more of the powders around the edge on this, you know, like the errant powders. Okay, so here we go. So this is to test the opacity on black to see what, or just to see what it looks like on black. How about that? There is an art to embossing. I don't claim to have that art down to a fine science by any means. Because you can overcook things with embossing. You can overdo it. You can see on the black, you can see the artifacts around the edge. You know, the little bits and pieces sparkling around the edge. And there is the glycerin just brushed on. Okay? All right. So, there's black and there's white. I mean, yeah, manila actually. So let's just label this one while we're here. Let's see, maybe we can label this with one of the moonlight pins. This should show up on the black. Okay, so there we go, patina oxide. You probably can't see that, but that's what that says right there. As that ink dries down, it'll show up even more. So anyway, from a distance, that's what it looks like. So there it is on manila, the same color, manila and black. You want to see those together? We'll do that. Just so you got the comparison. So there it is, manila on one side, black on the other. This kind of stuff is really hard to show with the lights, I got to tell you. But anyway, okay? All right. Yeah, it is cool on the black, I have to say. It's pretty cool on the black. Actually, I think I like it on the black better. What do you guys think? Do you like it on the black or the manila better? I think I'd like it on the black better. It's pretty opaque on the black. Anyway, okay, let's go to another one, shall we? Linda likes it on the white more. Okay, we all have our preferences, don't we? That's the cool part about creativity, because nobody, there is no one way. I'm just brushing off my paper on the trash. There's no one way to be right. I love that about creativity. Okay, what color do you want to see next? I'll let you guys vote. I'll let you guys vote. The first person that tells me, I will pick the one you want me to use. Rocky Road, Deep Sea, Ancient Amber, Chunky Rust, Dirty Sand, or Vintage Beeswax. The glycerin's the one on the glycerin is the one that was on the bottom in the stamping. Deep Sea. I saw it. Deep Sea. Okay, that's what we're using next. Deep Sea. All right, got it. I got it. Okay. Question was, do embossing powders have any problems with light fast issues? You know, can't answer that. I would not think they would have a problem with light fastness because it's plastic, you know, melted, but I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. Okay, let's go to, maybe we can do, let's be really super efficient, shall we? We'll do 2 at a time. Look at me thinking. Look at me thinking. See, that's what happens. That's what happens here when you get me thinking. Okay, so we got that one. And we got this one. Look at me. Go Barb. Okay. Well, while we're here, let's swipe on, swipe off a little glycerin at the bottom. Okay, a little glycerin swiped on. I'm telling you, if I do this long enough, I'm going to get really efficient at it. Okay, this is Deep Sea. All right, people, here we go. All right. Remember that I am not going over these with the little embossing buddy thing, so it's going to stick where it's going to stick, okay? It's going to stick where it's going to stick, because these are only samples. All right. You know what? Yeah, we're going to do this in two separate things. We're going to do the little extra piece of paper, but I just won't take the time to put it all together. All right, here we go. This is Deep Sea. It is magic to watch embossing powder melt. I don't know what is the thing that makes that so cool, but it is. It is just a magical kind of thing to watch. So the big particles in these embossing powders, once the other part, the finer part of the powder melts, it's going to trap the bigger particles. And that's really interesting. That's part of what gives you that texture. You bake in the big stuff. Okay. So while I let those cool off, real quickly, let's take a piece of the vintage paper, put some embossing ink on it. Again, I don't care if it's fully coated. Melting stuff is cool, isn't it? Yeah. The only thing you have to worry about when you're melting stuff, you do have to watch out for odors and maybe not odors as much as fumes. You do have to watch out for fumes when you're melting stuff. All right, let's just put the tweezers on this right now. I'm telling you, look at me thinking. I've got embossing powder going everywhere. Oh well. Oh well. See what I do for you guys? All for you. I do this all for you. That's a total lie, because I'd be doing it for myself anyway. Because I got to see what these things are going to do. I just got to get rid of some of that stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's emboss it. Then I'll show you the results here in a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can stick this stamp in it before it cools. No point in trying to put ink on the stamp because it won't show up in this dark embossing powder anyway. Okay, and it will release itself from the stamp, I believe. Yeah, it did. I didn't get a whole lot because the embossing powder wasn't quite hot enough. Oh well. We'll always wish it did. Okay, here is the Deep Sea on the vintage paper. And if I tip it in the light, the stamp is over here. And it might be much more helpful to put another coat so you have more embossing powder to stamp into. Okay, here's the Deep Sea on manila and black. Okay, manila and black. So it shows better on the manila than it does on the black. Okay, there's that. And I know with the light it is hard for you to really see it, but it is truly, it's an accurately named embossing powder color because it is deep. Like if you were scuba diving and you went down deep and you're losing the light, that's what it's going to look like. It's really dark. It is really dark. Okay, so let's come over here and let's label this. So this is Deep Sea. Okay, so that's Deep Sea. I'm going to label the back of this so I don't forget what it is. Okay, deep sea. So my stamping into this was not terribly successful. I can see it here, but I'm sure you guys can't see it very well. So yeah, you need to heat it more if you're going to stamp into it. Okay, there's that one. We'll put that together later. Okay, what's the next color you want? What's the next color you want? Put it in the chat. Embossing powder everywhere. There isn't any copper. There is Ancient Amber, Rocky Road, Dirty Sand, Chunky Rust, and Vintage Beeswax. Rocky Road. Okay, Rocky Road was the next one I saw. Okay, where are you, Rocky Road? Right in front of me, right? Okay, Rocky Road. All right, Rocky Road it is. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to just stamp them both with the same stamp. Okay. So we're going to put the stamp on, get a good impression with the sticky embossing ink. Okay, got it. And then we're going to put some glycerin on the bottom. Ooh, things are getting mighty crusty over here. Mighty crusty. In spite of the fact that I have a sticky mat here, still getting a little crusty stuff going on. Okay, little glycerin with a coarse brush. Trying to get brush marks purposely. All right, so here we go. Rocky Road. Rocky Road, and it is a very chunky looking embossing powder. Okay, very, very chunky. Not too sure that that I worked quickly enough on this. We shall see. Yeah. Okay. Can you see right here where it didn't pick up as much stuff? I didn't work quite quickly enough, and my embossing ink was already, yeah, even worse here. See that? There's only a little tiny bit where it's stuck. So let's put some more on this. So I have a overhead fan going, and also I have a fan going at my feet because it's a little warm in here. So let's put it on quicker this time. Okay, so we'll see what happens. We will see what happens here. Let's just, while we're here, let's just go ahead and take the piece of paper and we're just gonna put some on there. Dump on some embossing powder. It's going to be better if I just dump it this way. Yeah. This is really textural. This one I think would be better possibly to have like the vintage beeswax down first and then drop some of this in and let it get caught in the vintage beeswax. That's what I'm thinking about this one because it is so textured. Okay, here we go. Hi, Ilona. Hi, Left-Handed Crafter. Okay, this one is going to be better heated from underneath, I do believe. because it is wanting to blow off. See all that stuff blowing off? It's wanting to blow off. Yeah. Okay, we're going to heat the black one from underneath. It's wanting to blow off all the chunks. Okay, so I'm going to come underneath on this one. So I'm going to be off the table where you guys can't see for a minute. So I'm doing it enough to melt the, get it started melting, and then I'm going to melt it, finish melting from the top. Okay, and do the same thing with this piece of paper. I'm going to do it off the table from underneath. Okay. Alrighty. Are you ready to see this one? This is a messy, messy powder. This one makes a mess, people. Just saying. This one's gonna call for the vacuum cleaner. Okay. So let's see if this brushes off. Yeah. So I'm gonna see how much of this comes off the surface. I'm just brushing to see how much will come off. So this stuff here, that's stuck. All right. So there it is. This is truly distressy looking. Look at this. I don't know if you can tell the texture in that. That's a lot of texture. See that? Okay, so there's that one. That's on the Manila. It's a messy road. That's right. So here it is on the black. I'm trying to tip it so you can see color. There is some color. It's kind of a silvery gray with black specks in it. Here's the done on the paper. So you can see what it looks like. This one is not going to do any good to stamp into, so I'm not even going to try that. Alright, so that, whoo, that's a messy one. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. We're gonna have to take a break here and clean up a little bit. Oh yeah. It does look gooey, doesn't it? It's appropriately named. Okay, here we go. Look at this mess. Yeah. Let's see what we can get with this. And then take a new piece of paper. Messy. Linda, I'm sorry that this is the one you wanted me to do. This one would be better left and better done outside. And I do think, honestly, it would be great to do like the vintage beeswax or something and then drop this into it that's already hot and let the vintage beeswax trap it so that you got the texture trapped right in there. Okay, that's good enough. I can live with that. I can live with that. Okay. That's way worse than glitter, people. That's way worse than glitter. That's way worse than glitter. Ah, it was funny. Yeah. Sure, Linda. Sure. She laughs at me. Okay, what was the name of this one? Rocky Road. I should remember that. Okay, Rocky Road. Okay, where's my other one? Here's this one. This is Rocky Road. So I know those two go together. All right, get ready for the next one you want to see. Okay, so we got Rocky Road there. All right, did I set that off to the side yet? Okay, Deep Sea we're done with. Rocky Road we're done with. Okay, people, what's next? Jane wants to see vintage beeswax. All right, vintage beeswax it is. All right, so we have the same thing going on, and our little paper. All right, so let's go for it and see if we can do it. I'm going to get me a new piece of paper. That one's just positively crudted out. New piece of scratch paper coming up. New piece of scratch paper. Whoops, let's go the other way. Okay. I'm going to be gritty for a long time, folks. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's get the beeswax ready first. All right, we'll take the lid off of it. Living Dangerously. This is vintage beeswax. Okay, here we go. Stamp. Stamp. I'm going to move quicker this time. Glycerin. And pour on the powder. Okay, here we go. Okay, so there it is, unmelted. Unmelted. All right, let's see if we can find a spot here where we can, we'll just do this. Okay, so I just put that in on the ink pad itself. I'm telling you, one of these days I'm gonna get so efficient you guys aren't gonna recognize me embossing. Okay, let's see if I can keep track of myself here. Yeah. Clausman is a wood carver. He's a phenomenal wood carver. He also builds amazing boxes and cedar chests and all kinds of stuff. He is an artisan in his own right, for sure. Okay, vintage beeswax, people. Here we go. Here we go. Now my hand's sticky. Yuck. Glycerin and embossing ink and I are not necessarily bosom buddies. Because it has to be sticky to work. And Sticky and I are not friends. It's okay. It's all for you guys. All right, here we go. All right. This one's just a little hard to tell. You got to get in the light to be able to see if it's melted. Yeah, I think that's melted. Okay, I think we got that. Now, on this one, because it is so translucent, we're going to try the stamping thing with this. And let's try the, yeah, that's got ink on it. Okay. Let's go for, this is Walnut Stain Distress Ink again. Yeah, very inky. Okay, very, very inky. Okay. My distress pad might have a little bit of embossing ink or embossing powder on it. Okay, let's go for it. And again, this only has one coat, so it may not emboss so well or stamp so perfectly well. All right, come here. I might have, okay. I'm going to have to put the tweezers on it just to weight it down. Okay, now. Tell you, I'm tweezer challenged, folks. Okay, good and hot. Stamp ready. Stamp it, see what happens. Okay, there we go. We'll see. Christine, bye Cindy. Are there more brands with beeswax on the market? This does not have beeswax in it. It's just the name of this embossing powder. Does not have beeswax in it. Okay, you're going to have, for this to really work, you got to have more coats of embossing powder, or the more layers of embossing powder. You can see it on there, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it's down in there, but the best part of this is that it makes the paper look really neat. You have to have more coats of the vintage beeswax on it to get the full effect of that stamping technique. Like this, you see how deep that is? I don't know if you can tell how deeply stamped that is. But that had probably 3 layers of the vintage beeswax on it before he stamped into it. So, yeah. Anyway, we got the idea. It does Lona says texturize the ugly woman. She might look better. I don't know. That ugly woman is without hope. Yeah, the vintage beeswax disappears on the black, but it's very cool on the manila. Okay? All right. Not bad, people, not bad. I love this. I really love this. Is the most popular of all the colors, I do believe. So this is vintage. And beeswax is all one color. Word, I mean. Now, keep in mind I'm only doing 1 layer of all these embossing powders. But if you want to, especially on the beeswax, if you layer that up, you get some really cool effects on it. But see how neat that is? Look what it looks. This is the paper before. This is the paper after adding the vintage beeswax on it. It's really neat. That I love. Yeah, that I love. Okay, next one. So we have vintage beeswax done. So we've done like 3 of these so far. What's the next color you want? I'll tell you the old paper. It looks great on that old paper. It does give you that real beeswax kind of look about it. Okay, the remaining colors we have Chunky Rust, Dirty Sand, Ancient Amber. Which one you want? Amber. Ancient Amber, okay? We'll do Ancient Amber next. Oh, it's getting cruddy over here, folks. Oh, it's getting cruddy. See what I do for you guys? Okay, we're going to do the same process. Stamping first. Okay, stamp. I'm going to try not to dawdle around. Scraping on some glycerin. Okay. Throwing on the Ancient Amber. Okay. So there it is in its unbaked state. Okay, let's take our paper. See if we can get it pretty coated with embossing ink. Stick on the tweezers, because if I don't, there's no hope for me. I'm telling you, that one day somebody said she had never heard of anybody being tweezer challenged. And it's like, well, you have now, okay? We all have our strengths and weaknesses. I just don't do well with tweezer. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It's just the truth. Okay. If we were all good at everything, we'd have nothing to laugh at, right? Okay. Who's ugly? There's a carving called the Ugly Woman. There's a carving called the Ugly Woman that Claus Man did, and it rears its ugly head every so often. Yeah. He'll probably come up here and dig it out because, yeah, every time you guys start talking about it, he'll come up here and get it. Hey, Josie. These are the Seth Apter and Baked Texture by Seth and Emerald Creek. They're embossing powders. Oh, this is a pretty one. Woo, this is pretty. You guys are going to like this one. Ooh, that one there was enough there, it got very liquidy. Okay, we're going to have to let that one really cool because there was enough glycerin on that it got very, very liquidy. I'm telling you, you guys are going to like this one. Get out your credit cards. You're going to want to buy this one. Okay, we're going to let those cool down. We're going to do it on this vintage paper. Okay, just for grins and giggles, let's switch from Distress ink to archival ink. I've got the first one I grabbed was cobalt. Let's see if it works any differently with cobalt ink. Okay, so it's well inked. All right, here we go. We're going to heat this up again. Again, there's not very much, there's only one layer of the embossing powder on here, so we're going to heat it up a lot. And stamp into it, see what happens. I think I need just one more, maybe two more hands. Clausman sticking up for the ugly woman. Yeah. He came up here and got it for you guys. See how fragile this paper is? I just ripped a hunk of it off. Oh well. Okay, let's see. What come off? There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, you ready to see this one up close? Here we go. All right, there is, this one was Ancient Amber. Okay, there's the vintage paper. This is one layer of the embossing powder. Okay, this is only one layer. This has got the stamp in it, cobalt ink, and also texture. So it's stamped and texture. Yeah, nice. Nice is right. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, you ready to see the tags? Okay, there it is. I'm going to do this one at a time so we can get a good look at this one. Okay, there's the stamp. There is the glycerin just brushed on. When I activated this, that whole thing floated. So it took it a little bit to cool off. But isn't that cool? Ancient Amber. All right, on black. Here it is on black. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, look at that on the black. Look at that on the black, people. Look at that. Yeah. Okay, from me to you, that's 2 thumbs up on that one. Look, how pretty is that? Just that is cool. I'm just seeing if I can get the ink to do anything. I don't think it did. Okay, this is Ancient Amber, so I'm going to label this. So far, my least favorite is the Rocky Road because it's messy. That's just me. I don't mind messy stuff as a rule, but that's really, yeah, I don't believe I was using Rocky Road to its best advantage. We'll do a project one day where we use it better. Okay, there's Ancient Amber. Okay, we got that one. That's a winner, people. Don't you think? That's a winner. We'll go back through these again after a while. Okay, she wants to see the rust next. Okay, we will do the rust, chunky rust. Those of you that want to know about the ugly woman, this is the ugly woman. She is appropriately named. She is sincerely ugly. Yeah, he carved this one day. I mean, her shirt, you can't tell it probably, but her shirt is open. Her boobs are hanging out. They're hanging clear to her waist or below. Her belly, which should be up here, is down here. She has no rear end, basically. This is the ugly woman. He carved this one day, and he brought it, and he says, "You want to paint this? Because I paint all of his Santa Clauses." Which I paint them pretty well, I have to say. And I said, nope, there's no possibility. Distinguished? No. She is flat out homely, okay? Get a load of that mug on there. See? Yeah, no. Rocky Road ice cream. I have heard of it. I have not eaten it, but I have heard of it. Okay, Ancient Amber. We're done with that. We're going to do Chunky Rust next. We only have 2 more. We have Dirty Sand and Chunky Rust. So we have 2 more to do. Okay? You want to keep hanging in here with me? Long time no see. The old poor old ugly woman. I know. Yes, Clausman made her. He certainly did. He certainly did. A lot of you have seen his beautiful Santa Clauses, haven't you? It's hard to believe he would also make something like that, isn't it? Yeah, he did. Okay. A little more rocky road picked up. Okay, here we go. All right. So we have another piece of vintage paper here. And here we go again. Let's do this. We're going to do Chunky Rust. Okay, Chunky Rust it is. It's probably better to do these one at a time to get the maximum effect from the embossing powder and stuff. But, you know, I'm trying to do this so that you guys aren't here for all day and all night. All right, let's slap on a little bit of glycerin. Okay, and then let's throw on the Chunky Rust. This is a weird embossing powder. Very, very strange. It has fibers in it. Like, Seth says it's fluffy. He is absolutely correct about that. And why wouldn't he be? He's the one that helped create it. Why wouldn't he know what he was talking about? Hi, Debbie. Okay, so we're going to set that one over there. Very, very strange little embossing powder. I'm telling you, a lint roller is a lifesaver when it comes to this stuff. All right, let's go ahead and put the embossing ink on this old paper. Get it ready to go. Get it ready to rock. Okay. All right. And put some. And this one also has, as one of my friend's little boys used to say, it's got hunks in it. He was talking about my peanut butter back in the day, but anything that's got stuff in it, I always think of him saying it's got hunks in it. You know, a lot of embossing powders will just go right back in the jar. This one just kind of wants to go where it wants to go. Okay. Here we go. Chunky Rust. Chunky Rust. All right. Let's see what we do. All right, I'm going to heat up the embossing tool. Marion says she thinks the ugly women should be named Gravity. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Got to get to the side so I can see the change in the powder. You could probably do this embossing with a Ranger Heat It tool, but it's going to take you a lot longer, but you're going to have less airflow. So you're going to lose less of your embossing powder if you use that one, but it's going to take you a lot longer. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, this one I'm having a hard time telling if it is embossed fully. It must be. But it has a very different look on the old paper. Okay, here's... just checking to see if I have it all. I think it's all melted. I think it's all baked. Alright, here it is on black. Dorothy says she likes the Heat It tool for everything. This one has a high airflow, this tool that I'm using. So this is Chunky Rust. It does have fibers in it. The more coats you add on this one, the more you're going to see those fibers appear. So let's see if you can you see that? I'm not sure I've got this one fully melted. It's a little challenging for me to tell. Yeah, not sure I got it fully baked. I think I do, but I'm not totally positive. Anyway, here it is on black. This is a nice one too, black and manila. So it does show clearly on the black. And here is the vintage paper, so it's quite opaque. You don't see the writing through it. Yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. Pretty interesting stuff. That one, this one is really, of all of them so far, this is the hardest one for me to tell if it's melted. Can you see the shiny? But there's not a lot of shiny on that. So this one is a little harder for me to tell whether it's fully baked or not, or if it's just half baked. Anyway, I would have to practice with that one a little bit more, but that's a keeper too. That's a cool one. Okay, Chunky Rust. Definitely a very cool one. Very cool effect. What about stamping into the rust? Shall we try it? Okay, we'll try it. What do we got to lose, right? Nothing. We got nothing to lose. Alright, let's get this. We'll get the stamp ready. So, got to get the stamp fully inked up. I'm using the cobalt ink again just because I think it'll show better. So we'll see. Alright. Don't dally around here, Barb. Don't dally around. Use the tweezers. Tell me, I need more hands. I need more hands. Alright, here we go. Let's see if we can get it heated up. Much as possible. Much as possible. Heat, heat, heat. I'm telling you, it's just really hard to tell if it's really melted because it doesn't go all shiny like the other ones do. Okay, Rose. Thanks for being here. Okay, it's stamped into it. Fine, of course. But again, I've only got one coat on there. So it's stamped into it, but you know, I'm not getting a lot of texture. But there's only one coat of the embossing powder on here, so still pretty cool effect. I did ink up the stamp. Yeah, I'm inking the stamp with, this time I've been using the cobalt. I started out using the walnut stain distress ink. Claus, man, if you're hearing me, could you bring me some water? That's that. I think I inhaled a little bit of embossing powder. Surely not. Okay. We have one more color to use, and that would be, pardon me while I choke. The last color, we did that one. Dirty Sand. And then I have two more. If you want to hang in here with me, we'll do these two Allure colors and see what they look like. But what we're doing so far is all the Seth Apter colors. Okay, my eyes are watering. I need a whiskey. I think I need something. Okay. Clausman to the rescue. Thank you. I think I inhaled some embossing powder.
Breathe again.
Thanks. They love the ugly woman, as usual. They love the ugly woman as usual.
She's my girl.
Thank you. Okay, here we go. Whew. Stamp into the rest with blue or green for a rusty patina effect. I'm sure you could do some really cool stuff. You know, it's just once you start thinking about the possibilities, boy, it's like anything. Sky's the limit. Okay, stamping. Okay, stamping a little glycerin. Okay, so a little glycerin. This is Dirty Sand. Okay, Dirty Sand. Appropriately named because it does look like dirty sand. And you know, you could, if you have other embossing powders that you don't use regularly, put a bunch of them together and make your own mixtures and see what you get. I bet you get some interesting effects by just being your own kind of mad chemist, you know? Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that, you know, putting the different colors of ink, I mean, there's just so many, there's like infinite possibilities about what you can do with this stuff, right? Light inks, dark inks. And these were designed to do like multiple coats of embossing ink and powders. Remember, I'm only doing one coat. Oh boy, here we go with the tweezers again. Okay, Dirty Sand. Dirty Sand at the ready. I think we might like this one too. And by we, I mean me. Okay, here we go. Are we ready? This is the 7th one that we've done. Actually, we've not done too badly. I guess, I don't know if it made me choke or if it was something else, but anyway, I did choke a little bit. I did choke a little bit. All right, here we go. Dirty sand. Now my nose is running. Good grief. Okay, come on. Here we go. Okay. Ian says mucky gold. All right, shall we stamp into this one? Let's do it. Let's do it. This is a cool texture. I gotta say, this one is really neat. It looks exactly like what it's named. They did a great job naming these. They are very accurately named. Okay, again, only one coat of embossing powder on these, so the effect is not going to be as pronounced. Okay, quickly stamp it. Yeah, beach sand. Underwater things. Yep. Yeah, the royal we. That's right. That's right. Christine, you got it. Okay. I didn't do a very good job on that. That's okay. I must be getting tired of embossing. Okay, here we go. Dirty sand. See if I can get the light off of it. You cannot appreciate this one unless you see this one in person. My cameras are not going to show it accurately. This looks like beach sand. It really does. Here it is on the black. Sorry, I'm doing a lousy job showing you. There we go. That's a little bit better. And the stamping. So it's quite opaque on the black. Here it is on the vintage paper, so you cannot see the paper through it. And the reason you see these marks here is because I slid the stamp. That's just an example of bad stamping. I slid the stamp, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what I did. Anyway, I did something there. This one feels very much like sandpaper. It has a distinct sandpaper feel to it. Very distinct. Can you hear that? Holding it right up to the mic. So it feels just like sandpaper. Slid on the wet sand, that's right. Okay, so we're going to label these. And then I've got two more that are not the baked textures. If you want to see those, I will do those for you. Do any of you ever tell your brain, your brain is telling your hand to do something, but your hand has a mind of its own and writes its own words or letters? or am I the only person that's ever happened to? Especially if I'm talking to you guys and trying to write. That's always a challenge. Anyway, that's a very cool one. Okay, so we'll put these. Do you want to see the other ones? Yes? Okay. Whether you want to or not, I'm going to do them. How's that? Okay. This is Allure. This is from the Allure line, and this is called Northern Nights. Yes, please. Okay. Northern Lights. All right. We're going to do exactly the same thing that we've been doing. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing of the steps that we've done. I just about dumped the glycerin over it. That would not have been cool. That's what you get for not paying attention. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. All right, a little glycerin. I do like the effect of the glycerin. I have to say, that was a great idea. With these, you know, distress type look, with the distress kind of look, it's very cool. I have no idea what these are going to be like. I have never seen these before, so I have no idea what these are going to be like. Although I got to say, the color dumping out of the bottle is very beautiful. If you like teal and that kind of colorway, yeah, this is a good. We'll see what it looks like when it melts. Bye, Peg. Nice to have you here. Okay, so there it is on that. All right, let's dump this back in the bottle. Let's take. Oh, here I go again with the tweezers. Seriously. I get heart palpitations on this tweezer thing. Yeah. If I can't laugh at myself, I'm just going to have everybody else laughing at me, so we might as well just laugh at ourselves, right? Okay. Oops, took a chunk out of it. See, I'm telling you, tweezers challenged. I just broke the paper. Yeah. Gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at yourself. Okay. Wonder who's going to come clean this mess up for me. Oh yeah, that'd be me. Okay, here we go. We're ready to emboss. The color is Northern Nights. The type of embossing powder is Allure. Okay, this is also by Emerald Creek. Northern Lights by Allure. In the Allure line. Okay, here we go. This is pretty. Okay, while that cools and hardens up, we'll take a look at these. Okay, so here it is on, this is white now. This is not the manila, because I ran out of the manila paper in tags. So, but you can see that there's greens and blues. It's kind of an iridescent quality. That's pretty. You always get teased about Dorothy. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Isn't that pretty though? All right, on the black, it's different. Whoops. Okay. My camera clearly does not like that. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep my finger in here so it's got something else to look at besides that. So it looks different on the black, but you can still see the colors on the black. Pretty cool. And then on the paper, it's quite opaque. You really can't see all that handwriting behind it. Isn't that pretty though? That's pretty cool. This is not one of Seth Apter's. This is by the same company, Emerald Creek, but it's a different line. Okay. Seth Apter's is baked texture, and this is the Allure line. Okay. All right. So those are pretty, very smooth, very nice. So this is Northern Lights. Northern Lights. But it's good to do these little sample things, because then you find out how opaque they are. Okay, so that's what those are. Okay, and we have one more left to go, and that is Ammo Camo. Ammo Camo. It's pretty cool. All right, Ammo Camo. Here we go. This is our last hurrah. See, my ink pad is beginning to go some other color other than white. So if you want to consistently emboss on white paper and you want it to have a real true color, if you're, light colors of on light colors of paper and so forth, you want to have probably an embossing pad dedicated just to that purpose. Yeah, because you can scum up your ink pad pretty quickly. Okay, so let's get the embossing powder on it. This is Ammo Camo. Now this has got a serious hunk in there. A serious hunk. Do you see that? That's a big hunk of something. A hunk of embossing pad. This one, well, it's Ammo Camo, so it's different colors. It's going to be brown and green, I think. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we got that ready. Let's put this back in the jar and get our vintage paper ready to go here. Hunka. I know this was not one of the streams that I normally do where I have a project that I do from beginning to end, but hey, it was just something fun to do for the day. I thought you guys might enjoy just hanging out, having a place to chat, and just taking a look at these embossing powders and watching me make the mess where you didn't have to. And it would give you an idea about the results so you can decide if you want these powders or not. I can see some really cool applications, really and truly, for all of them. Okay, ammo camo. Let's emboss ammo camo. Yes, that's correct, Christine. Let's see, Beezy Girl, is that Renee? Is that right? Hey, Judy, good to see you. She's now got the tweet. We've been playing with Seth Apter's embossing powders, baked texture from Emerald Creek. Angela. Okay. Angela, please excuse me. I don't know why I keep wanting to call you. I want to call you Renee for some reason. I am sorry. You may have to correct me again. Oh, Dorothy, please do. I will take it. Suffice it to say, the sponsors are not getting on the table today. No, no, no. Can you even imagine what a mess that would be? Embossing powders, it's bad enough to have to deal with kitty litter. This is pretty interesting stuff too. Okay, let's do this one. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. All right, this is the Ammo Camo. This one is also in the Allure line by Emerald Creek. Okay. They have several different lines of embossing powder, which I didn't even know that. This is just sloppiness on my part. So there is the Ammo Camo. It is definitely green and brown. More brown than anything, but there is a greenish cast to it. Yeah, more fiber indeed. That's what I need. A little more fiber around here. It's looking a little more green on screen than it does to me in real life. In real life, to me, it looks much more brown. On the screen, I think it appears to be more green. I don't get that in the real life, as they say. And this is the vintage paper, very, very opaque. You do not see behind, but I love that that interesting. They have really captured that concept of texture. Although this one is very smooth, but it definitely has intense visual texture. Okay, so let me write these down on this one. I can dispense with this paper because I'm done embossing for today. So I'm going to throw this away. Okay? Yes. I'm also going to get rid of my mat. Get rid of my mat. We'll see how much of the stuff stays rolled up in the mat. Although I have to say, this mat did help because it is sticky enough that it did hold a lot of that embossing powder. Now all I have to do is rinse it, put it in the sink and rinse it and get rid of it. Okay, not too bad. Let's clean off the desk a little bit, shall we? And then I'll write what that one is on the back, and then we'll take a look again at all of them. Okay, it's cleaned up enough I can stand it, other than my hands. You wouldn't think that I was a neat freak if you were here in my studio. I'm anything but a neat freak. There are just some things it's like, yeah, ew. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's label these little puppies. And this is Ammo Camo, AMMO, Camo. Okay. And I will put these little samples on my tags later. Won't make you watch me glue stick those together. Okay, Ammo Camo and Ammo Camo. Okay. So I'm going to show them to you all one final time. So let's we'll do them in the order that I created them, did the samples. So I'm just going to put them in order here. And we'll start from the beginning. So those of you that weren't here at the very beginning will still get to see the results. Okay, so here we go. Uh-oh, I'm missing my, oh, it's on down here. Duh, I already stuck this one on. Good grief. I must be getting tired. It's like, oh no, I can't find the paper. It's because I already stuck it on there. All right, this one is, you can see up at the top, patina oxide. Okay, patina oxide. You're welcome, Linda. Thanks for being here. So this is the vintage paper, which I've already stuck this on the tag. Okay, so that's the vintage paper that I stamped into, so you can see the visual texture of it. Everything on here is only one coating of the embossing powders. This is using just a little bit of glycerin. Okay, a little bit of glycerin. And a very cheap acid brush, brushed on just kind of randomly. Okay, so there's patina oxide. So these first 7 that I'm showing you, these are all Seth Apter's baked texture from Emerald Creek. All right, this one is Deep Sea. Okay, Deep Sea. It is very dark blue-green. Does not show on the black, other than shiny. Shows well on the manila. If you wanted to see this better, you'd have to do it on white to see the color a little bit better. So there it is on the old vintage paper. Okay, so that is Deep Sea. The next one is Rocky Road. This is our messy one. This was almost my undoing. Not quite. There's Rocky Road. Highly textured. This one I think would be much better dropped into like beeswax or one of the other ones. Let it heat up by Angela, and dropped into the hot stuff and melted into that. That would be my thought on that one. That's my least favorite of all of them, although the texture is really cool. All right, here's vintage beeswax. Okay, vintage beeswax, which shows really nicely on the manila. It shows just as shine on the black, but on the manila it really does have that beeswax look. There is no beeswax in it. It is just the name. It is meant to capture the look of beeswax. This is very cool. Barbara likes the messiness of the rocky road. This one, this is what the paper looked like before. Okay, this is before. This is after the vintage beeswax went on it. So it really has a cool effect on the old paper. Changes that paper. Does a really nice job with that. Okay, so that's vintage beeswax. And all this again, one coat. That's all that's on. All this stuff was one coat. Okay, this is ancient. Whoops, I got myself confused here. Ancient amber. Okay, ancient amber. Yeah, I do too. Okay, ancient amber shows on both the black and the light color. Okay. Yeah, the deep sea. They're all really cool. They all have they all have a place. This is one of my favorites. I do love the way that looks. So that's ancient amber. Here it is done. So it's very translucent. It does let the writing show beneath it. And this is the stamp using cobalt ink. And there is texture as well as the ink on that one. Okay. See if I can get it. I don't know if I can capture the texture or not. Not really, but anyway, you kind of got the idea on that one. Okay, ancient amber. This one is chunky rust. Okay, chunky rust. This is a really nice one. It's very opaque on the black. Yeah, that flourish stamp on that one was really cool. Chunky rust, very textured. Here it is with the stamp on it on the vintage paper. Not much texture from the stamp, but it did capture the ink. That's chunky rust. This one is dirty sand. Okay, dirty sand. This is nice. Shows well on both black and the light color. Lots of colors in that, and it's very appropriately named. It feels like sandpaper. This has a very, if you like that feeling of, really the physical as well as visual texture, this is a great one. Again, this is where I screwed up. The marks in here, I did something to interfere with that. That was me, not the product. That was me, I'm pretty sure. That's the vintage paper, so it's very opaque. Dirty sand on vintage paper. Okay, this one is the Allure, which is a different embossing powder. This is the Allure line, and this is Northern Lights. Okay, that's Northern Lights. So the one in the Seth line that is as close to this would be Deep Sea. So I'll put Deep Sea up here. Now, the Deep Sea on this one is on Manila. Over here it's on white, so that it's not a truly fair comparison because the background is different, but it's the closest comparison I can give you. Okay, so that's Deep Sea. Northern Lights. Here it is in black. So it does show in the black. So you can see that some of them will show on the black and some of them don't. And then a comparison. This is the Northern Lights right here on the vintage paper. And this is the Deep Sea on the vintage paper. Just so you get the comparison. They are similar, but they are not the same. Okay. Hi, Angelica. Okay, so that is Deep Sea. I just want to put those back together. Yes, okay. So Northern Lights, we got that one. And the last one we did is Ammo Camo. Again, from the Allure line. So this is the Ammo Camo, which may look kind of olive green to you on the screen. It looks much more brown to me in person rather than that olive green color that seems to be coming across on the screen. Some cameras don't pick up some colors very well. And there it is. It's very opaque, but it's very smooth. Does not have texture. It's super, super smooth. Again, with only one layer of the embossing powder. See how smooth that is? And yet you have the visual texture because of all the different flecks and colors and stuff. Yeah. So there you go. The Northern Lights, they're just different. Yeah, the Northern Lights are just different, you know. What would I make with what, Linda? You'll have to give me more information because I didn't see your question quick enough. Okay, so I'm gonna stick all my little vintage papers on the corresponding card tag, and then I'm gonna put them together and make some notes about them. So yeah. The Allure line, you'll have to look on the Emerald Creek website because I really don't know what other colors there are. And they have at least one more line of their embossing powders. At least one more line too, I believe. But you'll have to look on the Emerald Creek website because I don't know. My local store, it's a scrapbooking and mixed media store. Those were the only two of the Allure line that they got in. So, okay, that is going to be it for me today. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I hope that this has given you a break away from the craziness in the world today. And I hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you in, 2 weeks? I think it's June the 1st is the next regularly scheduled stream. I will see you then. I'm not sure what we're going to do. I had a creative chat scheduled with somebody, but we've had to reschedule that. So we'll see what happens. You never know. Maybe the decks, I don't think the Mandala Madness inspiration cards will be here yet, but you never know. You just never know. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. Good, Dorothy. I'm glad I'm here. Glad I was here to give you a little bit of distraction. Okay, guys, I will see you all later. I don't think of anything else I wanted to tell you, so I'll just say remember to get creative today because you know it's easy. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.